Hello and welcome to today's science lesson. My name is Anas and I'm a teacher in the International Knowledge School. Now today, before we start the lesson, we have to do two things. First, make sure we have all the things that we need, and then we're going to have to go back and correct something that we did the last time. So first you'll need scissors, an eraser, a pencil, and a notebook that you can tear some papers from, or A4 papers if you have any. Okay, so let's move on and start the lesson. Of course, we need our science books. That's the number one thing that we all need. Okay, so before we go ahead, there's something that we did the last time that we need to correct. So let's go back to page 15.9. Now remember that we have two things. We have solids, like the pencil, the scissors. These are all solids, but water is liquid. Okay, so anything that changes shape based on the container is a liquid because it changes its shape. But anything that doesn't change shape, when you squeeze it, stays the same. The rubber changes its shape a little bit. Look, see, it does change its shape, but it goes back to the same shape. Even if it's changed a little bit, but it's still solid. See, even if it falls, it stays the same. This is a solid. So here, the last time we did the disc lamp and we wrote liquid. If you did that, and I did that, and I apologize for the mistake, of course, it is a solid. Okay, so we have to erase it and write solid. Solid. Let's make sure it's recording. And it is recording. That's good. Okay, so now we corrected that, and you have to remember, anything that changes shape is liquid. Everything that doesn't change shape is a solid. Okay, now before we move on, we have to do today's homework, which was in the workbook on page 46. Okay, now to do the homework, we need to take a piece of paper. So we'll take this one. Okay, good. Okay, so first of all, make a fan to move the air. Fold a sheet of paper to make a stick. So you see all these lines in the middle. So we'll take this one. We'll make two here. Okay. So let's do this. It's much easier to understand. Let's see. Okay. So here, 1, 2, 3. Make a line. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And last one. And yeah, that's good for now. Okay, so now we have to fold it on these little lines that we made. So the one way we can do this, we can do it the other way. Let's see if we can get a good fan. Of course, we have to do it this way. Okay, this is the first one. So the first one is on this side. The other one is on this side. Okay. So I have to look for the line, and let's see. Do we actually make it right? Well, it's good enough. What matters is these sides match. See? So the sides match. That's okay. So let me do it again. One on this side, one on the other side. One on this side, one on the other side. Now here we have to do the other side. Flip it. Do the other side. Flip it. Do the other side. Okay, now after you're finished, you can just do this. And you've got a fan. Let's see. It actually works. So if you don't have an air conditioner, that's the thing to use. Okay, so it doesn't look great, but it is fun. Okay, so this is a fan. Okay, so remember, this is a fan. This is how to make a fan with paper. Now the second thing we're making, which I'm not sure how to do, roll into a tube. Okay, so we're getting another piece of paper. Okay. We have to roll it into a tube. So like this. Okay. Okay. It's rolled into a tube. Cut halfway down. So let's see. Let's try to cut it. Where did I put the scissors? Under here. Interesting. Yes. Okay. Cut halfway down. Let's see. Have to cut it like this. So halfway down. Let's put a mark on the half. So until here. Let's just mark it until here. This is roughly half. This is not exactly half, but it's good enough. Just as an indication of where we should stop. Okay, next up. Okay, next. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so I think now you just have to do. Now, of course, you've got all these sides. Let me just correct it. Yeah. Okay, so now when you finish doing it, it'll be like this. After you cut it, just have to make the piece. Just do this. Just have to put the lines and make them intersect with each other. So you can take one of these here and do this. Put it in the middle. Put that one there. And you've got a messy palm tree. But of course, you should cut it a bit more so it looks nicer. I have to make it intersect a lot more actually. And if we cut that one, okay, that's good. Okay, let's do this. Now it's looking a bit like the one in the. Oh, this one's not good. Okay. It might take a bit of time to get a good one out, but you have to take. Let me return it to normal. Okay, you have to take each one and make it intersect with the others like this. So you have to take one, make it intersect. Say. Okay, let's see if we can make it better. Yeah, well, it's not as good as the one that they have here, but what matters is that you've got the pieces up here, which looks like a palm tree. Now, I would recommend that you cut it a bit down, like maybe until here, and try to make them intersect more, because I think that's why it's not doing the same thing it's doing here. So, yeah. That's the palm tree. Okay, so moving on. Next up, cut halfway down. Okay, finish the words and arrows to make the chart. Add more people, materials, and things if you can. Okay, carpenter. Remember, the carpenter is the person who makes things with wood, like tables and chairs. Okay? People who make things with materials: carpenter, potter, and tailor. Tailor makes shirts, bags, and even ties. So what does he use? He uses cloth. Okay, so cloth makes shirts and makes pants, trousers, t-shirts, bags, everything that is, you wear, except shoes. But some tailors make shoes as well, but that's not very common. Okay, so shirts and let's say bags. Or belts. You can use bags or belts. Both are okay. Okay, so a potter makes things with clay. So he makes pots, and many other things that we use every day, like maybe cups, vases, or anything else similar. So we can just write pots and maybe cups. You can make cups with clay. You make them with clay and then you leave them on for under the sun for a while, and they will become solid, and you can use them to drink. And I think they're pretty safe, more or less. Okay, so chant the rhyme, make an action for each line. So we're going to sing and we're going to make an action for each line that we have here. Okay, so tap tap with a hammer, cut cut with a saw. Actually no, tap tap with a hammer, cut cut with a saw, splash splash with a paintbrush, open the new door. Okay, so you can make it in a sort of a song. Cut tap tap with a hammer, cut cut with a saw, splash splash with a paintbrush. Tap tap with a hammer, cut cut with a saw, splash splash with a paintbrush, open the new door. Snip snip with scissors, thread the needle's eye, stitch stitch with cotton a smart new shirt and tie. So you can make it into sort of a song, but try to make it sound nice and do the actions as well. So we have tap tap with a hammer, tap tap, so 2. Cut cut with a saw, and splash splash with a paintbrush, and open the new door. So you can make it into sort of that. Snip snip with scissors, thread the needle's eye, stitch stitch with the cotton a smart new shirt and tie. So you can sort of make it sort of a song like that. Okay, so that's the homework. We took a bit of a time on that because it was 2 full pages of homework, but today's homework will be almost the same, but you can do it in much shorter time at home if you understand what we did the last time with solids and liquids. Okay, so we finished this one, and let's go to the course book. We have some review questions that we will do that will help you with the homework. Okay, so name the materials used to make these things. A, you have a table. So what do we use to make a table? Let's go back. Now let's see. Okay, table is made by a carpenter and it's made of wood. So here we write wood. Okay, here we have a wall. Now some walls can be made with clay, but most are made out of stone or something even stronger, cement. But let's write this one as made out of stone, even though it's in the lesson and it should be clay, but we can just write clay. But these are very weak walls, so walls that are made of clay are not that strong. So here we can write clay. The walls that we use today are not made of clay. I'm not really sure, but I don't think they're made of clay. Okay, so C, this is a bag or a basket, and it's made of, let's see, a leather worker makes things of cloth. So here we write cloth. Okay, in D, we have a rug or a carpet, and it is made out of cloth. So here we write cloth. Okay, here, well, this looks like a container. It doesn't seem to be made out of metal, nor out of wood, nor out of clay or cloth. Now this can be made out of clay, but usually we make it out of plastic. So here we can write plastic. Plastic is used to make many different things that we use every day, such as water bottles, which I have here. This is made out of plastic. Now plastic is a solid and it's very malleable, so you can, or flexible, so you can move it or you can just flex it like this. So this is plastic. Okay, here we have a wrench and it is made out of metal. Okay, here we have a window. Now, some windows are made out of something called PVC, which is like plastic, but the old-fashioned windows are made out of wood. You're right, wood. Okay, a belt. Now, a belt is made out of two things, okay? This is very important because the book will only tell you that it is made out of leather or cloth. Now, this part is made out of cloth or leather, but the last part is sometimes made of plastic and sometimes made of metal. But in this case, it is made out of metal. But we can just write that it's made out of cloth. Just write cloth and metal. Again, if this is too fast, you can always pause the video and write at your own pace. This is cloth and metal. Now, a shirt. What is a shirt made of? Take a look. What is it made of? Shirts are usually or almost always made out of cloth. So a shirt is made of cloth. Okay, so a quick review. A table is made out of wood. Bricks or walls are sometimes made out of clay, but that's very old. Baskets are made out of cloth. Rugs or carpets are also made out of cloth. A container or water container or anything similar to that is made out of plastic. And the wrench is made of metal. A window is made of wood. A belt is made of cloth and metal, but mainly cloth. A shirt is made out of cloth. Okay? Now, good. We'll move on to the next one, or the next page, 63. Say of each of these material is heavy or light, rough or smooth, strong or weak. Okay? Now, to explain all of these things, I will just try to paint a picture, or paint it here on my board. Okay? So heavy is something like this. So you always find 50 kg. 50 kg. It's very heavy. So you can't carry it on your own. It's very heavy. It takes like 3 people or 4 people to carry it. So something like a car is very heavy. You can't carry a car. So a car is very heavy. Something else that's very heavy? Let's think. Can you think of something that is very heavy that you can't carry on your own? A big box that is full of, let's say, food that is very heavy and you can't carry it alone, so you need help. So that is something that is heavy. Something that is light, like this. This eraser is very light. So I can carry it with one hand. So this is light and heavy. Rough and smooth. Okay, so something that is rough, or something, let's start with smooth. So if you touch it, it's smooth, right? It doesn't hurt your fingers and it feels nice to touch. Something that is rough has rough edges. So if this is the board, if you touch it, you stay in a straight line. But something that is rough, maybe like this. So if you touch it, you feel that there are things, or the surface is different, so that is not smooth. Something that is smooth can be the board, the book. The book is kind of rough. See? If you touch the book, it's kind of rough. But if you touch a board, it is very smooth. It feels nice to touch. But if you touch the book, it's kind of very smooth. It's kind of rough. It's not very rough. It's sort of smooth as well, but it's kind of rough as well. Other things that are rough could be, let's see, a car surface. After you leave it out in the sun, it kind of gets rough, but it's still smooth if you clean it and wax it. So that's one example that I could get off the top of my head. Okay, strong or weak. Okay, so something that is strong or weak. Let's see. Now here we have scissors, right? Now if I try to break the scissors, I really can't. It's not easy. So it takes strength or takes strong hands to break it. So that makes the scissors strong. Now this is not breaking it, this is just using it, right? Because there's this here and you can use it. But here, if I want to break it, I can't, which makes it strong. Now this piece of paper, on the other hand, I can just do whatever I want to it. So it's weak. I can even tear it apart. So that makes it weak. All right, so piece of paper is weak. Scissors are strong. All right, so that's for strong or weak. Okay, we'll do this very quickly, just verbally, and then we'll move on to today's homework. Okay, so here we have a cup of, well, just a cup. What is the cup heavy or light? What do you think? A cup of water, is it heavy or light? Of course, you have to say light. Okay, we will use L for light, H for heavy, R for rough, and S for smooth, S, T for strong, W for weak. Okay, now this is light. It's actually smooth, and it's strong as well. Okay, so it's strong, light, smooth, and strong. Now some cups are rough, but this one is made out of glass, and glass is usually very smooth. Okay, let's look at B. We have a straw. A straw is very, very light. It is smooth because we use it to drink, right? So it has to be smooth. And it's weak because you can bend it, which makes it very weak. Okay, let's see. Now here we have a rock. Now rocks can be heavy and can be light, but this seems like a small piece of rock or a small rock. You can say it's light. Rocks are usually rough, so it's not easy, it's not nice to touch it because it has rough edges, and it's usually very strong. Okay, D, we have grass. Now grass on its own is very light, but when you consider the ground with it, it's very heavy. But here in this case, we can just say it's light. It is smooth, very nice and smooth. This grass is very nice and smooth. And it's weak because you can just tear it off the ground and you can move it and you can do whatever you want with it. And now we have C, looks like water. Now a little bit of water is light, a lot of water is heavy. This one is light, it just seems like a puddle of water or just like a splash of water, so it's not that heavy. Light, smooth, and weak. Although you can't really break it or do anything with it, but it's not very solid, it's not very strong. So we can just say it's kind of weak. Okay, F, a mirror. Now this looks big, so I'm thinking it's heavy because it looks big next to this one. So you can just say it's heavy, it's smooth, but not around the edges, and it's weak because you can break a window very easily, or a mirror. Now here we have a vase. A vase is sort of heavy, not really heavy, not always, but heavy. We can say it's smooth and it's weak. Okay, so these are the things that I think of these things, but if you have anything at home that is different from what we have here, you can always take it and examine it. So is this heavy or light? This is light, it is smooth, and it's strong. Not very strong, but I can break it, but it is strong because you can break it easily. So just a little bit of effort is not easy to break it. Okay, find 3 solids and 3 liquids in the pictures. So we want to find 3 solids and 3 liquids. Here we have an ice cube. Okay, now an ice cube is made of water that is placed in the fridge. Now after you keep it in the freezer, sorry, not the fridge, if you keep it in the freezer for long enough, it becomes an ice cube. An ice cube is a solid. Okay, we can just write here, ice cube is a solids. Or you just write is solid, sorry. We just write ice cube, solid. Water, liquid. Okay, you just write do this here so you don't confuse these with two. A cup, well, the cup is solid and the water inside it is liquid. So water or whatever is inside it, can be juice, can be anything to drink, is liquids. Okay, so the container, the container has some oil in it. The container or the mug or whatever you want to call it is solid. The oil is liquid. Okay, so the ice cube is solid, the water is liquid. The cup is solid and the water is liquid. The container is solid and the oil is liquid. Okay, that's it for today's lesson, and we'll go over to the homework, which is on the same page but in the workbook. Now we should do all of these the next time we have a lesson, but for today this is the homework, page 48 and 49. We will do all of these the next time or in the next lesson, and we will check them out together and see if you did it right or wrong. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson and learned something new, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.